CF 1848. May I have the appearances, please?
Yes, good morning, Judge Sue Opper, Leslie Basie, and Zach Woodshow appearing for the state of Wisconsin.
Good morning, sir. Please state your name for the record.
I am here as a third-party intervener in that matter, appearing as authorized representative for my client. I accept for value and return for value all of the charging instruments in this matter and make my exemption available for discharge of all obligations and charges connected with this case. I do not dispute any of the facts in these charging instruments, and I do not consent to or agree to being called their name, Your Honor.
All right, the record should reflect that the individual known to this court as Darrell Brooks is appearing in person in custody. He is also in civilian or street clothing, in a suit and tie, also wearing a mask. Mr. Brooks, I know today you're also not wearing headsets. I just want to make a record. Yesterday, they were offered to you, even charged. The different charging unit was provided. I did not see you wearing the headset at any point in time. And from my perspective, given your either legal arguments made, comments to the court, or questioning of witnesses that you were able to hear, but I just feel it important, given that you raised that issue, to put that on the record. I do want to address the case law that was filed by Mr. Brooks. I have a question, sir, because you had indicated there was this United States v. Lopez. I had looked up a case. I don't know if it's the one that you were referring to. I asked you if it was from 1995. You thought it was. Have you been able to look through your documents to tell me which United States versus Lopez you were referring?
I have not, but I also cited Higgins versus Levine as well, 415 U.S. 533, or I think you may have corrected
I was able
that.
to find Higgins versus Levine and Malo versus United States. I also found a case that is captioned United States versus Lopez at 514 U.S. 549. That's a case from, it was decided in 1995. It had to do with in part, with the
Jurisdiction.
No, it had to do with a provision in the federal statutes regarding the gun-safe-free zone and whether that was constitutional or not. It was a criminal case, but nonetheless, that was one of the major issues in that case. So I don't know if that's the case you were referring or not. And without a citation, it's hard for me to know. So that's why I'm asking you if you have any other information about that case.
I can possibly look on a break, but my understanding of that particular case was dealing with the specifics of subject matter and personal jurisdiction, which is why it was brought up for the record, which is something that I have been doing adamantly, is asking for the court to provide verified proof of jurisdiction, which I have not been provided with as of yet.
Court's not required to do that, sir. I understand what your objection is. It's been noted for the record multiple times. And the previous rulings of the court stand. I see no reason to revisit those issues, or what we call legally a motion for reconsideration, even if I were to take your reference to these cases as a request to reconsider based on a new legal argument. The cases that I reviewed don't support that. I do want to give the state an opportunity to at least make a record as to their position, and then I'll give you the last word if you want to make a legal argument to the contrary.
I do.
All right, so go ahead. I believe Attorney Basie, you were going to do that.
I was. Your Honor, I did review the U.S. versus Lopez, the Lopez case that you cited at 514 U.S. 549. As the court already indicated, it deals with the Gun-Free School Zone Act, which is a federal offense. The court found that that Congress exceeded its authority under the Commerce Clause, and therefore there was no jurisdiction. I don't find any analogy between that case and this case. Again, I'm not sure if that is the Lopez case that the defendant was referring to. With regard to Malo versus United States, this was a case involving an accident that the plaintiff had with an employee of the U.S. Postal Service who was driving a U.S. postal truck, and the issue became whether or not there was a valid claim